The Twisted Tale of the Unipig by D.S. Kirk. Part 7. Hardroot. The piglets and their mother came upon a raging river with large boulders that they couldn't cross. It was late in the afternoon, so the Unipigs wanted to wish themselves across. But their mother was strictly against it. So, turning upstream, the pig family marched on for another mile or so, till they came to a flat area with a large pool they could easily swim. The pool was backed by a waterfall and had a small swamp on their side. The swamp was full of arrowhead and cattail plants that had roots Peggy had long ago taught Madam Hog were piggy food, and now the mother pig taught her piglets. The pig family took the time to eat. Though they hadn't had much since the corn, every piglet knew better than to gorge themselves, even Clover. It was dark before the Passel swam across the large pool, and doing so removed all their mud. "Muddy up, kids," called out Madam Hog, out of habit on the other side. "Do we have to?" sighed Belle. "Can't we just spend one night clean?" Well, the mother pig couldn't blame her Unipigs for wanting to stay clean. Their fur was thick and the mud was heavy. And besides, having to wear it all day and all night, well, when even Oats and Rain wanted to stay clean, the mother pig had to relent. Madam Hog led her Passel down underneath a rock overhang where they could spend the night. And then Belle said, "Oh, my fur is so clean it tingles." "Mine too," said Mud. "That's not clean," said Sky. "That's Daddy." "Daddy," said all the Unipigs, looking around. "He just sapped in, up there," and with the glowing tip of her horn, Sky pointed above the waterfall. "Don't do that," said Madam Hog sharply. The light went out and shyly Sky said, "I'm sorry, Mama." "Oh, honey, light can be seen a long ways in the dark, and it usually attracts humans," said the mother pig. "Your father probably had to zap into the top of the mountain, so it'll be a while before he gets down here. Why don't you kids get to sleep?" "Well, can't we stay and wait up for him?" asked the Unipigs. The sow simply smiled and said, "The longer you stay awake, the longer you'll be awake without him. But the sooner you go to sleep, the sooner you'll wake up with him." Mom," said several of the Unipigs. But after a full day of marching and with full bellies, they were all soon asleep. And with a full belly herself, and a blanket of warm, fuzzy Unipigs against her, Madam Hog was soon snoring. The lady pig awoke to the sun shining on her face. When she opened her eyes, the sky was still dark, only to see the still glowing unicorn carefully laying down opposite her. The equine shimmied until their legs intertwined and they shared the blanket of Unipigs. Snout to snout, the unicorn said, "You made it. This side of the river is the northern forest, and I'm so glad to see you're all okay." "Tired, hungry, but we had no trouble," said Madam Hog. "How did you do?" "We'll talk about it in the morning," said the equine as he nuzzled his lady's snout. Then the unicorn said, "I think I know how you had Unipigs. Long ago, unicorns were goats." "Goats?" yawned Madam Hog. "Yes, and before that they were something else, and something else before that. No one could ever say how the magic passed from one animal to the next. I think a Uniram must have fallen in love with a mayor before granting her the wish of motherhood, and by so doing, part of him went with the wish." The lady pig simply smiled, understanding the equine's meaning. Then the unicorn said, "We unicorns have been hunted almost to extinction. Perhaps it is time we pass the magic on to you pigs." "We accept," said Madam Hog on behalf of her species. The unicorn chuckled. And then he looked to the stars and said, "They say that the first horse unicorns were siblings, a brother and sister, and that they could combine their magic and do things that no single unicorn could ever do. And my lady, we have 7. And with those words, the unicorn looked down the smiling, sleeping, lovely Lady Pig. He sighed, laid his head down as well, and went to sleep. The whole family was used to getting up before dawn, so after an early raucous reunion, the Unipigs were off foraging. Madam Hog and the Unicorn sat side by side watching the sunrise. "I have bad news," said the Unicorn. "No singular would allow us in. Most would not even speak to me." "Then we'll just follow one," said the Mother Pig calmly. "Oh no, my lady, they'll attack you, they'll chase you away. And besides, following is dangerous by itself," said the Unicorn. "They all hate us that much?" asked the Mother. "Only one old boar even offered us any empathy, wished us luck," said the Unicorn. "But he still refused, and they have troubles of their own, being a very small singular." "Take us to them," said the Mother Pig. "Oh, my lady, I couldn't ask again. He's refused, the law of the forest," said the Unicorn. "They seem like our best bet," said the Mother Pig. "Too few to chase us away, and perhaps nice enough to allow us to follow." "As you wish," said the magic animal. "The small singular's at least a day north and east of here, so if you would like to rest, there seems to be plenty." Madam Hog shook her head and called out, "Muddy up, kids!" The family followed the raging river downstream to the east, until the Unicorn turned them north up into the mountains. As they came up to a notch through the mountains, they could see a long valley that stretched all the way up to the base of the white-topped mountain. The Unicorn stepped to one side as Oats came marching up, leading the line of Unipigs. The orange-eyed Unipig looked up at her father and asked, "Are we there?" "No, sweetie," said the Unicorn. "They're at the other end of this valley." The Unipig looked at her destination, said, "Okay," and lowered her head and continued her march. One by one, the Unipigs marched past their father, followed by their mother, who also looked up but didn't have to ask. "The other end of this valley," repeated the Unicorn. Madam Hog looked at her destination, said, "Okay," before lowering her head and continuing her march. It was well after dark before the Unipig family reached the small singular's territory. Though they were too exhausted to forage, and besides, there wasn't much to eat. So they all lay down out in the open, Pig on one side, Unicorn on the other, and a blanket of Unipigs in the middle. But they were all together. The next morning, the Unipig family soon tracked down the small singular at a clearing where two paths crossed. "Stay behind me, so he won't charge," said the Unicorn. "Kids, you stay here," said Madam Hog as she followed her maid out into the clearing. All 7 Unipigs sat and watched their parents approaching the wild pigs from the edge of the forest. The wild pigs were all staring at this unusual couple approaching them. The old boar was glaring at the Unicorn as he bowed and nodded. The old boar bowed and nodded and snarled, "You don't dare ask again!" "He doesn't, I do," said Madam Hog, stepping from around the Unicorn. "You don't have a right to speak here," yelled the boar. "I am a mother," said Madam Hog, as she closed the gap between them. "That gives me the right to speak to anyone, anywhere, anytime." The old boar lowered his head, lunged forward. Madam Hog had just enough time to receive the impact. It drove her back in the dirt, but she kept her feet under her. The old boar stepped back and yelled, "Leave!" Madam Hog yelled back, "No!" The old boar lowered his head, pawed the ground and snorted. Madam Hog lowered her head, pawed the ground and snorted. Both animals lunged forward at the same time. The impact was so great the Unicorn fell to his feet, but he knew he could not interfere. This time, Madam Hog held her ground. The old boar stepped back, shook his head, and bellowed, "Leave!" Madam Hog shook her head and bellowed, "No!" The old boar lowered his head, pawed the ground and snorted. Madam Hog lowered her head, pawed the ground and snorted. "Enough!" said the old boar. Madam Hog looked up to see the old boar eyeing her with the side of his head. "Maybe you're not so domestic after all," said the old boar, "but I can't allow you in my singular." "You don't have to allow us in," said Madam Hog. "Allow us to follow." "The end of the line?" asked the old boar. "Behind the end of the line," said Madam Hog. "We just need to follow at a distance to watch and learn." "Behind the end of the line," said the old boar. Then he shook his head and said, "Well, I can't stop you from following us, so very well." Then in an authoritative voice, the old boar called out, "They will follow at a distance! We will keep our distance!" before turning and beginning to walk back to his family. As he passed the unicorn, the old boar said, "Maybe they'll be of some use after all." He then walked over to his family and called out, "We're moving this way!" and led the wild pigs up the opposite path. "Kids!" called out Madam Hog, and all the Unipigs came scampering out of the forest. "Oats, follow. Keep them in sight, but keep your distance." "Ducks in a row! Rain, you're with me!" called out the biggest Unipig as all the Unipigs got into a line behind their sister, followed by their mother. The unicorn fell in step beside his lady and said, "My lady, he's setting you up. Last in line in the forest is not just last to dine, but the first dined upon. If predators track you down, they'll attack you first, allowing them to escape." "That makes sense," said Madam Hog. "He's doing what he has to for his family, and I'm doing what I have to for mine." The unicorn stopped in his tracks, said, as he watched his lady simply walk away. Madam Hog turned her head to see the magic animal. "He's so handsome in the morning light," she thought, "and I love the gleam in his eye and his smile." She then walked right into a tree. All that day, and into the next, the Unipig family followed the wild pig family. Unfortunately for the followers, there was not much left but shells and stems by the time they got there. Towards the end of that second day, Clover was watching as the old boar turned over a log. A fat cricket jumped from behind the log and hit the ground, immediately jumped again behind a rock. The old boar didn't seem to see it. As the old boar ate what he could find and turned to head back to his family, Clover ran up and pounced on the cricket, gobbled it down. There was a snort of wind into his face that blew dust into his green eyes. Clover looked up into the face of the old boar. "You want me to send you back to your mama squealing?" "Please, sir," said Clover. "We're hungry, and you don't leave much behind." "Eat Hardroot," said the old boar. "What's Hardroot?" asked Clover. "Humph," said the old boar, rolling his eyes. "Over here." He walked over to some small plants with white flowers. "Dig," said the old boar, pointing to the ground. Clover began digging and soon uncovered a small white root, about the size of a nice worm. He reached in with his teeth and pulled it out. "That's Hardroot," said the old boar. "These, the ones with the red flowers, and those with the prickly leaves, they all have Hardroot. We eat it when there's nothing else. You lot have nothing else." And with those words, the old boar turned around and began to walk back to his family. "Thank you, sir," said Clover, with the root still in his mouth. The old boar snorted, shook his head, and continued to walk away.